Three, two, one.
Here we go!
Welcome to the Remote Photography Podcast. In this episode, I speak with model Sugar and Spice about her remote photography experiences. Enjoy the podcast. Hi, Sugar and Spice. If people don't know who you are, can you give us a brief introduction, please?
Yeah, hi. Thank you ever so much for having me. So I model under my professional name as Sugar and Spice, and I've been modelling, how many years now? I don't know, maybe about 8 years. I think I kind of started my journey when I first moved up to Cambridge and my husband was doing his photography degree. So he kind of needed models for that. So I modelled for him. I modelled for people on his course. And I found that I really, really enjoyed it. It's not something I'd ever thought I would do or something that ever really appealed or seemed of interest to me. But I found actually the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it, the more I got to meet people, try new things. So I think after modelling for the people on his course, they then introduced me to other people and it kind of snowballed in a way. I then got to meet other people. I got introduced to various portfolio sites and then kind of just worked with various people in the local area. I got to meet body painters, makeup artists, stylists, milliners, photographers. And it's been a really, really, really cool experience. And I've just kind of gone from there. I've done catwalks, I've done music videos, and just really, really enjoyed the kind of journey it's taken me.
So obviously with last year when everything locked down, did you see remote shooting as being something you'd look into, or did you just think, maybe in a few months we'll be back to normal and I can get back to modelling?
It was definitely much in a few months it'll all be over. For me, I was pregnant when we went into the first lockdown. So I always knew that last year I wasn't going to be shooting and that was just going to be my time for my maternity leave, enjoy time being a new mum, having a baby. And I kind of thought, this will sort of all this COVID stuff, it will kind of finish and I'll just be able to go straight back into modelling as I normally do. And then it kind of carried on and I was like, might have to rethink this. And I'd been sort of casually lurking in the background on social media, just seeing people mention remote shoots and just seeing some of the work people have produced. And then towards the end of last year, I thought, right, I am going to need to be doing remote shoots. I'm not just going to be coming back to one-to-one shooting because it's not like that at the moment. So I started looking more into it late last year. And I know a lot of people had already done loads of shoots by then. So in a way, that was really handy for me because I could see what people were doing. I got loads of advice from people. So that was hugely, hugely helpful. And it just kind of went from there. So I started speaking to people going, look, I think I'm going to need to start doing remote shoots. Any tips, any advice? And so I just kind of started very slowly building up, looking what people had done, asking other models kind of how they were working things, speaking to photographers that had done remote shoots already, and just kind of going from there very slowly, I suppose.
So as you've just said, you were thinking in a few months during the first lockdown would be back to normal. Did people approach you during then to do remote shoots, or was it photographers, models, or was it a combination of both?
A combination of both, really. I've been chatting to a local model and a local photographer, and we were speaking about things. And I was saying, I feel that I'm ready to return to modelling now. I said, but I'm really not sure about how to go about things because, of course, we won't be able to shoot one-to-one. I've seen people do remote shoots and it looks like they are really, really successful and people have really enjoyed them. And I know I can do it. I've got all the equipment at home. I've got my husband, I've borrowed my husband's camera, all his light. I was like, so I know I can do it. I just need to kind of make that step. It was kind of getting over that. I am a huge, huge technophobe. And I will admit that. I'm not great with technology, so I knew that it would have to be a huge learning curve for me. And probably a good one as well. I mean, it's now new skills that I'm able to do. I've never needed to use studio lights before, but now I am using them. I know how to use them. And so it's been a massive learning curve and it's been a big teaching process. And I think in the beginning that was kind of one of my reservations for doing remote shoots was that I was going to have to do a lot of learning. But then I kind of realized, well, learning is not a bad thing. Maybe it's good for me to do that learning and actually try and do something new. It's a great skill, and I'll be able to use those skills into my modelling career, even when we're able to go back to shooting one-to-one. So I think, yeah, it was kind of speaking to a couple of people and saying, look, I think I need to go about starting remote shoots because that's only going to be the way possible. Please, can you help me?
Like I've said to a few others, like I think the community, a vast majority of it has, like, if people have had problems and stuff and posted on the groups or on their social media, people have like literally gone to help them because they've come across the same problem when they've been starting up to do remotes.
Oh, that has been absolutely amazing. And it's been so nice seeing that people are really, really supportive. And that I've really, really liked. And I found that hugely, hugely helpful. In that if I've had questions, I feel it's okay to ask them and not feel like it's just me being really, really stupid. Mm-hmm. Particularly when other people go, yeah, I've gone through that similar thing. Here's what I did. It works really well. Feel free to try it. And that's been massively helpful and boosting. And I think it's just nice to know that everyone out there is so supportive of each other. Be that models supporting other models, be that photographers supporting models, being able to give tech advice and all sorts of different things. That has been amazing, and I have so appreciated that.
So you mentioned you had a camera already. What's the current setup you use to do remotes?
So I've borrowed, it's all my husband's stuff. So I've got a Canon 60. So I use that, and I use Zoom for sharing, and I use the Canon EOS version 3. So that enables the remote sharing of the computer, of the camera, and that works really, really well. I also then do either a video through Facebook or WhatsApp, just so that way, although you've got your live view of the camera and you can see the camera feed on the screen, and that's great, you can then also see with either the Facebook or the WhatsApp, like the whole scene. And that makes it a little bit easier, I think, for the photographers, because then you can visualize things a bit better. You can see exactly what I'm doing, where I am in the space. And I think it helps with ideas for then of what you want to kind of do next, or you see, oh, right, yes, I can see something. I think this would work really well. Can we just move something ever so slightly? Can we change slight position? And I found that's really, really been useful.
And I'm guessing with the WhatsApp and stuff, it's the engagement as well, because obviously you can see the photographer's face and talk to them almost like you were both in the room.
Oh, definitely. And I've said this to a few people. I've had a few people say, oh, but it's not like shooting someone in real life. You don't have that interaction. And I've said, well, what do you do at the start of the shoot? Do you sit down and have a cup of tea? I said, fine, go make yourself a cup of tea. I will sit here with my cup of tea as well. And we can still have that little bit of chat before the start of a shoot. So you still have that kind of, oh yeah, this is nice, this is comfortable. You can discuss your ideas. You can go through various different set ideas. I can show you all the outfits that I've got planned out, all my shoes and everything. And I think actually that's a really, really nice way of starting it, because it feels more like you are going back to that shooting one-to-one, being there with the person. You are both sat there, you are both just having that nice chat. And I find also it really, really helps for people that have not done remote shoots before. I've worked with a couple of photographers now that have not done remote shoots before. And it's been really nice in the beginning. If I haven't worked with them before, it's, that nice chat, getting to know a person, but also just being able to go, right, so this is the software. This is what we're going to be using. This button does that. That button does that. Yes, I have to control the lighting, but you can control all the settings on the camera. This does this, that does that. And that's been really nice. And I think that's been really helpful. And I'm led to believe things like, I use the Canon EOS, but different makes of cameras use different ones. So I guess as a photographer, if you're not used to shooting Canon, it's slightly different. So it's just going through all those things just to make people feel a little bit more comfortable and just make it seem more like you are having that, oh, this is, a nice start to a shoot before you actually get shooting. And I think people really appreciate that. Possibly didn't expect that from a remote shoot, because I think some people have the idea of, it's very sterile in a sense, but it doesn't need to be. It can still be that warm, kind of relaxed atmosphere if you want it to be.
Have you found from the ones you've done, is it some people you've worked with, or is it been a vast majority that it's people who've done a few remotes but you haven't worked with?
It's been a mixture. So it's been really nice in a way to work with people that I've worked with previously one-to-one. And so then I can now continue working with them. So that's been really nice. It's just we are now working in a slightly different way. And I think I've really, really enjoyed that because they're people I'm used to working with. We get on quite well. And it's just the shoot kind of flows very, very smoothly and fluidly. But then it's also been amazing working with people that I don't have the opportunity to work with because of travel, because of distance. And that's been really, really nice. I had to cancel events last year. There were certain tours I couldn't do. So I've been able to say to people, look, I know it's not the same. A couple of them were maternity based, and of course I can't offer that now. But I have said to a few people, look, I know I can't do that, but we can do this. We can try and make it something else. And that's been hugely helpful. And it's been really nice. I like the traveling. I like the tours. I like to go to different places. But where that's not possible at the moment, it's been really nice working with people that otherwise wouldn't be able to. I've been chatting to a couple of photographers on the continent, one in the States. I've never been to America for a shoot. So that's really nice. It's just being able to work with people that I normally wouldn't be able to. And that's been a really, really nice experience.
Yeah, because you're just building up that relationship that hopefully you'll be able to take into one-to-one shoots when it's safe to do.
Definitely. And I think because I've got my little boy, I don't know when I will be able to go back to touring again. So it'll be nice that even when we can start doing the one-to-one shoots again, that for me will probably be fairly local. But it'll be nice that I'll still be able to offer it to photographers that are a lot further away that I wouldn't normally be able to work with. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really hoping in that sense that remote shoots will carry on. And I think they will. I think because of it not necessarily, and even when things go back to returning to normal one-to-one shooting, I think it will still be difficult with touring, with travelling abroad. So I think remote shoots will hopefully help with that.
So from the work you've seen people produced remotely with photographers and models, are there any people you'd like to work with remotely that you haven't yet?
Oh, tough question. Is that so aside from the people that I've got to shoot with in future, I would love to really, if I could, work with some of the models that also do photography, just because I think you get such a different feeling from it. I've seen beautiful work that Ivory Flame has produced, Artemis Fauna, Sanopa Rin, and those ladies all produce some beautiful photography as well as fantastic modelling. And I think you get something different from that because they do both. So that would be awesome.
That's a great answer because no one's really said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, so I think that's really, really important. And I think you learn so much more from someone who does both.
Okay, with remote, do you only have access, to one location, if I remember rightly from our shoot? So do you find that being limiting or being creative in how to get different kind of shots?
It's made me be a lot more creative because usually when I shoot at home, there are various different rooms I can shoot in, but just because of technical issues that I just can't solve at the moment, I am limited to one room. But it's now using that room and using different spaces that I normally wouldn't use. And that's been really nice. Each photographer that I've worked with for practice shoots, we've tried different spaces. Some of them, I've said, can we try this? I've got an idea. I think it will work. Can you just help me fine tune it? And they've been like, yeah, let's make this work. Other times photographers gone, right, let's just try this. It might work, it might not. And that has made me be a lot more creative about how I use the space and what I can make the space into. I've still got ideas of I need to get a couple of backdrops that I'm putting up. I'm in the process of doing that. And I've got more space and things that I can use. it's just kind of making it something different each time and trying to make it a different set. So it looks like you are potentially going around different areas, shooting in different places. In one sense, I think that kind of makes, I like that bit, but then I have a small bit in between different sets of, right, let me just strip it all down. Let me quickly change something. I've got clutter all over the place that you can't see in the shot of me gathering up bits of fabric and material to throw on or take off, different accessories. So there's a little bit of time of me doing that. But so far, photographers, I haven't had anyone say that that's an issue, and they've really liked it because they've said, oh, that looks different now. Or, yes, that's quite cool. That's changed it up completely. So it's not just about changing the lighting or changing position of camera. It is making it a different space as well. And it's forced me to think differently about how I use my house. I've never had to, or never made myself, I think is the correct way of saying it, be too creative with sets at home. But this has kind of made me do that. And I think, again, that's another really good learning process. And something, again, I can do when we are able to shoot one-to-one, and I can have people at my home to shoot again. It'll be a case of, right, I can now use this space differently and in a way that I've not thought to use it before.
I bet you're walking around your place now and suddenly you look at an area in your place and go, I can shoot that now, can't I?
It's so true. It's like, oh my goodness, there's some lovely light there. Right, how do I set this up? There is actual beautiful natural light in that space. Okay, that's going to work now. Right, let's use that. How do we make this into something? And that actually has been really quite good fun. A bit daft.
It might look weird from people not even being the photographer looking through the screen, or you, if someone, a third party was looking at it and they'll think, what the hell are they doing?
Oh yeah, people peering through the window probably think, total nutter. But in that way, it's been really nice. I'm like, right, okay, where is the light? How can I use it differently? Or things like there have been spaces I thought, oh, that's been too small to shoot. I'm never going to be able to shoot there. And actually it's forced me to go, no, I can shoot there. Right, let's make it work. What do I need to do? How can I tweak something slightly? And so actually it's forced me to make a lot more use of the space I've got. And that's been a really good process.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your website and literally there's one, it looks like you're leaning against the wall and the sunlight is literally casting a shadow on one side of your face and the rest is in shadow. It looks like you're standing against the wall near a set of stairs.
It is. And that bit of wall is genuinely probably about 60 centimetres because right next to it is my TV. And there is such a small bit of wall there and such a small bit of space. And I've thought, I can't use that. It's just too small. And photographer's like, no, we can use it. Let's use it. Come on, let's make it work.
No, because that looks like an awesome picture. Yeah. And there's like another one where it looks like the camera's right against a wall or a door frame and it's looking against you. So like using the wall as a leading line to go to you, and you've got like your hand on top of your head, if you know the shot I'm talking about.
That one is, yeah. That one is shot in my downstairs toilet.
There you go. No one would know that, yeah.
No. But that was one where I said to the photographer, I was like, look, I've got this space. I really want to make it work. Come on, will you please help me? And he's like, all right. It's really, really small. It's really, really cramped. I had to get the light into a tiny space. I had to mess about with the camera and the tripod and everything. It was so cramped. But I was like, it's going to work. It will work. And it did. And it's those kind of things I'm like, yes, I can make it work.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool. And I'm so pleased to have used the space that either I didn't ever think I could use and it has worked, or spaces that I thought I could use but never yet actually tried it. So that's been really, really cool. It's been like, yes, come on, it does work. I have got more space than I think I do.
Yeah, because it's like when we shot, we literally just used the couch in your living room, wasn't it? It was just that one area, but we managed to do several different looks. Like, okay, you can see the couches in almost every shot, but we put you like next to the wall with the plants and the lights, then you were in front of the couch, so it was like giving different looks all within like a small space.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of been a big process. And I think for a lot of people, and I think quite a few models have been almost put off of the idea of doing remote shoots, going, I haven't got enough space, I'm never going to make it work. And it's been really nice being able to say, actually, you can do it. It is possible. You can make it work. And I think that's been hugely helpful to people as well. Models hugely supporting other models going, no, it's fine. I've got this set up. I can only use 2 rooms in my house. I only get natural light from one source. This is how I'm having to make it work. work. This is what really works for me. And that's been really, really nice, is the huge support from people.
So because you're saying you've got lights, has that helped you like shoot with different people in different time zones? Because obviously if you're just using natural light, you're sort of limited to daylight hours.
Oh yeah, that's been really, really helpful. So I've done a few shoots in the evening.
Yeah.
So of course, no natural light in the evening. Mm-hmm. So that's been really, really handy in that I have been able to say to people, look, we can still shoot. I can kind of work out with your time zones. I've got a shoot this evening that's going to be really late night, but because I've got the lights, I was like, I've still got the light here. We can still make it work. And again, that's something I've never done at home before because I've never needed to. I've always done daytime shoots. I've not done evening shoots before. So that is really, really good. I'm like, oh, it's making me learn something, making me do something new and forcing me to think about how I'm progressing with my modelling. And that's been really, really nice. And I think it's good to adapt, good to make changes, good to find that new challenge.
And have you found remote has made it easier for obviously looking after family and still modelling? Have you found there's like it's been easier to balance things?
Oh, definitely. For me, it's been really, really handy. Another reason why I enjoy modelling is it just fits with my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I can make it work around my family life and I can still continue that with remote shoots. Now I can do shoots in the evening as well. The boys have gone to bed. I've got the whole evening to myself. That gives me time to set up, get myself organised, and I can still do those shoots. And that's been really, really useful. And I've really, really enjoyed that and appreciated that.
What is the best way that someone should approach you to do shoots specifically for remote? Have you found it's through your website, through your social media?
I don't mind how people contact me. That's because I try and check things as often as possible. That's not been a problem. I had a few people contact me and I've then directed them to my website and gone, look, here's where I give all the information about remote shoots on my website. Hopefully, if you're new to remote shooting, that should answer any questions you've got. If you've still got questions, obviously, do say. Quite a few from social media, I think. I think it's been hugely helpful. There being now lots of groups dedicated to remote shooting. And thank you for your advice on what groups there are out there. I didn't even realise there were so many. I think that's been really useful, so that people know that you are remote shooting. I try and put up casting calls every now and then. But yeah, a real combination of things, really. I think probably social media so far has worked really, really well.
Do you find that the Facebook groups that have sprung up for remote, has it made it easier for you to, like, say you're doing remote shooting and put your results from them?
Oh, definitely. And I think that's really nice because then you can see who is remote shooting. I think you can easily then see what people can offer. People have given advice, on their setups and things. You can see what people are creating. And I think that's been so, so useful just to see, photographers that are interested in remote shooting. Some aren't. That's not a problem. To be able to get your work out there and say, look, this is what I can shoot. This is what I have been doing.
So when someone approaches you for a shoot, how do you find the best way for them to present what they want to get? Is it in an email or mood boards, or is it something, say, like they have a general idea that they know the outfits you have? What's the best way you think is use of the time before the remote shoot?
Interestingly, so far, most people have just kind of given me an idea. This is kind of what I want to shoot. And they've either then shown me kind of the styles that they want to do, or they said, I've seen other people are shooting this remotely. Is that kind of what you can offer? I've always directed people to the work that I've done with remote shoots. Like, look, this is what I've been doing so far. This is kind of the space I got, what I'm using. And so I find mood boards really, really helpful because in that way, I can take the idea. I can see if I can produce it at home. I can try and work with it. So that's been really, really useful. And a few people have been like, look, I've got all these ideas. Is this something we could possibly do? And that's been really nice. I can go, yeah, I've got the space. Let's do that. I've said to a few people, look, I can't shoot really full length. Really are doing sort of 3/4 lengths. And that actually hasn't been a problem. And it's just been a case of, look, let's adapt that idea. Let's make it something like this. So yeah, mood boards and things have been really, really useful. And again, something that I haven't necessarily always done in the past or is particularly needed in the past as such. Now, yeah, definitely more helpful.
And from the shoots you've done, would you find like the ideal time? Is it like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours or more? Or do you find it varies from shoot to shoot?
It definitely varies. I think depending what you're wanting to cover and how many different sets. I mean, I've said to people that it's potentially a slower way of shooting just because if we are changing things around, you know, there is that little bit of time between sets to change things around. So be prepared that it may not be. But then I think it's kind of aiming for quality over quantity. It's some shots I find it easier. It's like, look, I'll pose or stay in the pose for 2 shots, just so that way we can make sure we've got the shot. I always say to photographers, if they are happy to give me their Dropbox email, while the shoot is progressing, I will put JPEGs into the Dropbox, just so that way they can see all the images we're shooting and they can just have a quick look through, see what they like, see if something's working, see if they're happy with the setup and things. And a few people have said, actually, that's really, really nice and gives a chance just to make sure things are in focus, just to make sure we've got that particular shot. So that actually has been really, really helpful. And so that I really, really enjoyed doing as well. And it's just, you can double check then that you are creating the images that you are wanting, that you are happy with. So yeah, I'm hoping that that's kind of, you know, also helping with the experience.
Oh, definitely, because now you mentioned it, I remember you saying, oh, I'll drop it in Dropbox and then you can have a look. And I was like, I haven't done it this way before. And then literally within a few minutes, I got used to it because I could see the images appearing in my Dropbox. And instead of having you to double check, I could literally look at the images at my end and go, yeah, everything's fine. We carry on, do a few more poses.
Because, you know, sometimes during shoots, you may just have a quick look at all the back of camera images. Whereas with the EOS software, you can kind of only just see like the previous shot and it doesn't give you a chance to go, right, let's just have a look through everything and see what we've got. You know, see if we have got that particular shot for that particular set, see if there's anything else we want to do, just to see if we want to tweak something very slightly. It's like, yeah, that's really good. But if we just adjust this, if we just change that, if we just move that arm slightly. So I think that has hopefully really helped. And that's been really good going back through that with people, because I've been able to say to photographers, look, do you want to just have a quick flick through all the images as if you were looking at them on the back of the camera and just let me know if you are happy. And I think because, you know, it's still the photographer's images, I still want them to feel like, okay, I've still got the images, I can see it, rather than we've done the shoot and now I hope you're happy with what we've got. I think it gives people the opportunity to go, yeah, I am definitely happy, or actually, I've had a quick flick through. Is there any chance we could do X, Y, Z?
Yeah. Have you found the pace, because obviously it's a bit slower than it is in person, did it take a little while to adjust to that, or is it still something, because especially with the delay over the internet, sometimes depending on where the photographer is, there might be that second or even 2 seconds delay when you've heard the click and then they've said they've seen the images. Is that something you've got used to now?
It is something, yeah, I think it's something you're sort of still working through. I mean, I was trying to do things over Wi-Fi and I found that was too slow. So then I tethered the camera and actually I found that sped things up quicker. And that, again, is one of the limitations for why I can't shoot in various places, just because I'm relying on the Wi-Fi and it's too slow in the house, really. I think to make the shoot run smooth enough. So I keep it tethered and that makes it a bit quicker. But yeah, it is a case of, right, it is a little bit slower. Sometimes it is. And again, going back to the just keeping in the same pose just for a couple of shots, just to make sure you've got it. And why also I think it really helps with having like the Facebook or the WhatsApp video, because you can then see potentially that either the model has moved, the pose has changed, and it may be that actually the software just hasn't caught up with it yet. You can sometimes have those kind of small delays. So I think, again, having the live feed and having that video really, really helps, because you can see in real time what's going on as well.
So in the future, when it's got back to one-to-one shoots and you can do them, do you think remote shoots is going to be something you'll have in the back of your mind that you could offer to say, like you were doing a studio day, you could tag on at the beginning or end, depending on where a photographer was, to still offer remote shoots?
Yeah, I'd really like to be able to do that, because I think sometimes people do feel limited of things based on location. And I think it will really, really open up opportunities for people that they possibly otherwise wouldn't be able to do. And I think that makes a big difference. And I think photographers, well, and models, it'll be easier for both, because that way it'll be a case of, okay, I know you're not in my area, but we can still have that. We can still shoot. You can still have that opportunity and not miss out. And I think that will be really, really useful. And that will be something that I am hoping to be able to offer to people as well. Either people can attend in person, or be a case of, look, if you want an hour slot, we can do it remotely.
So just to wrap things up, where can people find you on the internet?
So you can find me on Instagram at Sugar and Spice Modelling. You can find me on Twitter at Sugar Spice Model. I have a page on portfolio site Purpleport. That's Sugar and Spice. I also have my Facebook page, Sugar and Spice Modelling.
Okay, I need to ask a question. What's with the sugar and spice?
Because I'm all things nice.
Okay, there you go. Well, thanks for doing the podcast, and I look forward to seeing some more pictures when photographers shoot remotely with you.
Oh, no, thank you so, so much. It's been an awesome podcast. I've loved listening to other people's experiences. And it's so nice just to be able to share what everyone's doing, how people are progressing, where people are moving through their journey. Thank you so much for our shoot. It was absolutely brilliant. I learned so much. And I think the nice thing about remote shoots is every shoot I do, I'm learning something new, either about that space, about communication, about using my camera, about everything. So thank you so, so much.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for approaching me, because I think it was Lara who said you were thinking about doing
Laura.
it. Yeah, Laura.
Yeah, no, awesome person. No, absolutely love her to bits. She's fab.
And how so I know what I want to say, but I wasn't saying it the right way. Let me try this again. No, because you've just answered it. I'm looking at the wrong question. Sorry. You'd think people would have done at least one, but it's surprising.
No, I've never done one before. And I was like, and when I saw your post, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I've not done anything like that. You know, silly sort of like, oh my goodness, I'm turning into a teenage girl again.